The Unreal Tournament 2004 is amazing, it's fantastic, and it's a blast to play, and you can't buy it. If you haven't seen or heard much of this game before, you'll leave this video wanting to get your hands on it, but you can't, because Epic Games says so. It's a shame, because Unreal Tournament 2004 is both a relic of the past and timeless all at once. A game that gives you exactly what you want, and lots of it, with no filler, no grinding, no daily challenges, no gimmicks. Load the game, select the game mode, the map, and drag away. At its core, Unreal Tournament is a first-person arena shooter, sometimes referred to as a boomer shooter. These games are fast-paced, chock full of unique weapons, imaginative maps, and content. Oh, so much content. At launch, the game cost $50, and it gave you everything you could want. Maps? Try 100. Game modes? Well, of course, you have your standard team deathmatch and capture the flag, but you also have unique modes like a bombing run, assault, or the truly epic onslaught. UT 2004 is also the first game in the series to add vehicles in certain modes and maps. And how can I forget this? Yeah, this map even features battles in space. If that isn't enough, there are tons of mods and user-created content online. No paid DLC, no microtransactions, just more stuff. Now I get it, video games get more expensive to make and studios and publishers have to get a return of their investments. But looking at all this content and just everything that's available online, it just makes me yearn for the good old days, you know what I mean? Finishing a week of school, hopping on my old Windows XP computer, booting up a match of Team Deathmatch on Rankin. Oh yeah, this is the good stuff. I can't tell you how many Saturdays and Sundays I would wake up in the morning, hop on, do some TDM in Rankin, or Cyrus 2, and Takora Forest. Good stuff. And who needs coffee to wake up when you have pure carnage? I like my coffee like I like my games, full of blood, violence, screams of pain, and heads being blown off by bolts of lightning. Unreal Tournament's gameplay is actually pretty simple. If you're used to modern shooters like Call of Duty, there's no iron sights, no scopes, no loadouts. Everyone spawns with a shield gun, an assault rifle, and off you go. Weapons are placed throughout the map, and it makes exploring a map fun for the first time because it gives you incentive to learn. You also can't customize guns like you can in more modern games. What you see is what you get, but with that said, each weapon does have a special alternative function. The rocket launcher can shoot 3 rockets in a wide area. The flak cannon shoots a grenade that explodes into little tiny flak shells. You need to learn the maps, the weapons, and how to use them. Once you get that, it's all about practicing and just building skill. This is when Unreal truly becomes addicting. Trying to get better at aiming, strafing, dodging, trying to jump up a wall, learning how to shoot 3 rockets in a spiral and timing it just at the right time to frag somebody. It never gets old. You can also take your shield gun, run in somebody's face and watch them explode to bits. Yep, it never gets old. Legitimately, I can just play Team Deathmatch and Free For All and be happy, but the game has so much more to offer. Take a look at Bombing Run. There's a bomb in the middle of the map, and you grab it, and you shoot it into the opposing team's net. It's kind of like basketball, but with guns. Lots of guns. Invasion is a PvE mode, a predecessor of sorts to the Horde mode you'd see from Epic's future games, Gears of War. Assault is a cool attack and defend based game mode, with some truly awesome maps and scenarios, including the previously mentioned space combat. One team is on offense, the other team is on defense. Oh boy, here's the big one. Onslaught. Don't get me started. You know what? The hell with that. Let me get started. Onslaught is amazing. You have these big giant maps, and you have to connect these little tiny power nodes in a big chain. You get enough nodes connected together, and then you take down the defense in the enemy's base, and you can attack their core. The first team to blow up the other team's core wins. The game mode was a blast online and in LAN, but it's still a lot of fun with bots. It's a huge tug of war, all guns blazing to nab enough nodes, then rushing to their base to attack the core. But you also can't ignore defense. If you're in their base and they knock out your connecting nodes, their core becomes impervious to your hits. It's back and forth, it's intense, and I adore it. Huge maps, tons of weapons and vehicles. Oh my god, the vehicles. They're perfect. Just perfect. I mean... this just gets my blood pumping. It got my blood pumping as a middle school kid, and it still does 20 years later. Oh, and this thing has blades that swing out. Oh my god, brilliant. What will they think of next? One of my favorite things about these arena shooters is the over-the-top attitude the games feature. You can taunt your opponents after you kill them. You can even have the game automatically do it for you. You can also have animated taunts at the end of the game. That way, when the game ends and everybody's eyes are on you, you can thrust that pelvis with honor. Go ahead, thrust away. You've earned it. Now, it's maybe not a big deal to some people, but there's just something about the atmosphere of it all. The grunts and the screams, the taunts, the sounds of explosions and gunfire. It's a constant barrage of sound, and I don't think I'd have it any other way. There's something truly magical when you get the right blend of screams of agony, gunfire, explosions, being called a whore while some badass music plays. Speaking of which, music. You have a mix of genres that all blend and work together. Hard rock, metal, drum and bass, and more ambient pieces. It all just works. Rankin is one of my favorite maps in the game. Partially because it was the first map I ever played in the game, but also the music is a great first track to listen to. Osiris 2 has more of a technical, digital vibe. It's always building momentum and has its own kind of intensity. But then this track in Takora Forest is super ambient and kind of peaceful, which is kind of ironic given, well, you know. The sound helps keep the momentum going and the adrenaline flowing. You know what else keeps the momentum going? Mutators. These are basically little tiny mods built into the game that could do some wild things. Give yourself a big head, insta-kill weapons, allow quadruple jumping, change gravity, and my favorite, adjust game speed. So look at this map. It's pretty small. There's only like 4 players. Well, I could just change that to 30. Alright, so that's a lot of players. It's pretty hectic. But you know what? I demand more carnage. Yes, the sweet scent of absolute fucking madness. My favorite. There are practically no limits. With mutators, you can completely alter the game, but if that isn't enough, don't worry. We have 2 decades of mods available online. This game was massive for mods. Ever hear of Red Orchestra or Killing Floor? These are full game releases now, but they started as mods. Tons of mods are still available for download even today. If you join an online match with mods, it'll download everything you need to play. But of course, the multiplayer. First, you can always play offline bot matches, and this game is an all-time great for LAN parties. But now I want to get to the online multiplayer, so they took the servers down and removed the game from digital storefronts. That's a bummer. On one hand, Epic had the servers running for all of the Unreal games until 2023, even the first Unreal Tournament that released in 1999. Some games have their servers shut down only after a handful of years, sometimes just 2 weeks later. So I have to commend them for keeping a game running since 1999. Think about it, that was before the PlayStation 2 even launched. It's still kind of sad, but not all is lost. The Epic Master servers may be gone, but the community saves the day with OnlySpy. OnlySpy is a fan server that is active. A simple Google search will show you a tweak to make to the game's INI file. Reload the game and you're back online. The player count isn't as high as it used to be, but trust me, you can still have some pretty chaotic, crazy matches. But now I have a bone to pick with Epic. You don't want to keep a server up. Alright, I can accept that. But what annoys me is that they also removed the game from all digital storefronts. GOG, Steam, their own launcher, all of it. Now in the case of an online-only game, this makes sense once the server is shut down. But UT 2004 has a single-player campaign. It has offline bot matches. It has glorious LAN play. Lots of people could still play these games. You know the jokes about some games being so old you can play them on a potato? Yeah, well, you could play the Unreal games on a potato that's been sitting in your pantry for over a decade. Yeah, that one. That potato, the hairy one with the stuff growing, that one. By the way, man, you better clean out your pantry. That's not good. It's such a fun and affordable game that can be played on anything. Any computer with integrated graphics can play these games. You could easily run a super affordable LAN party, and this could be an easy game to play. I haven't tried it, but in theory, you could play this through LAN on an ROG Ally, and this works on a Steam Deck. I cannot understand why you would remove the games altogether. I want people to play these games, and there's no way for them to purchase them. You can always find a box copy like I did, but honestly, at this point, just find the game online. Perhaps it's archived somewhere by some organization. I always want people to buy the game and support the developers, but we can't, because Epic decided that we can't. Epic abandoned the franchise that made them who they are today and has gone all in on Fortnite, and you know what? You really can't blame them. It's a never-ending cash printing machine. Fortnite does offer user-created content, but I don't know. Maybe it's just the old bitter man in me. It just doesn't feel the same. You spent your money on Unreal Tournament and you got a fantastic game that can stand the test of time and with tons of content. Outstanding quality and quantity. Now, I enjoy the gunplay in Fortnite, but I hate the building aspect. And I just frankly don't find a lot of the user content particularly fun or well made. Now, I'm not trying to be harsh here because I'm guilty of making my own pretty bad content in Little Big Planet or even my own YouTube videos. But there is the inevitable end of Fortnite. It won't be tomorrow, it won't be next month, but one day, Fortnite servers will go down. And with that, any of the content you made or the money you spent on cosmetics or microtransactions will also go away with it. I don't want to discourage people from playing Fortnite. If you enjoy it, you should play it. But I just can't help but shake these feelings. Fortnite will eventually end, and all the content with it. Just like Epic also ended that game Paragon. Unreal Tournament is old, it's not available to purchase, and the servers are down, but it doesn't matter, because despite it all, Unreal Tournament still lives. The game works on modern Windows, Steam Decks, ROG Allies. You can play offline, play on fan servers, LAN, use the stock version of the game, any of the mods over the last 2 decades. Unreal Tournament has never gone away, and it never fully will. It will be available in some capacity with all the content you could dream of. Remember that silly map or that skin you made 17 years ago? It's still available out there for someone to enjoy all these years later. And if that isn't Unreal, I don't know what is.